Class 507s and 508s have been in operation on Merseyside since the 1970s, and we're currently nearing the end of these venerable units. In this Merseyrail special, we'll have a brief look at the old and new in the real world. Then to Train Sim, and taking advantage of the pack that came out from backdated Train Sim before Christmas, we'll take a brief run on the small section that's in the Liverpool-Manchester route to Hunts Cross. Then over to Mike Dunning's wonderful backdated 1968 Borderlands route for the journey from Liverpool Central to New Brighton. A little bit of artistic license, as of course these trains didn't operate at this time. And finally to Train Sim World and a reskinned Class 313 in Merseyrail colours for a run from Brighton to Lewes. Fabulous pack this from Backdated Train Sim, making use of the 313, 314, 315 from Armstrong Powerhouse. But they've done such a lot of work. This is the Arriva livery. This one is the special 507001, which was repainted into Merseyrail colours to represent how the units were when they first came in service in the 1970s. A couple of added bits as well. You've kind of got a representation of different logos from down the years. I'm not totally sure of my order in terms of when these liveries were actually used in active service. I know this particular one was in use when the Wirral Lines Video 125 DVD came out. This is one of my favourites, and it's different colours on different sides as well. That's a smarter way to work with Merseyrail. Student travel. Love your sport. Day at the races. Of course, we've just, as I'm recording this, it's the day after the Grand National. Golf courses. Of course, you've got Hoylake and Lytham in the not too distance, and of course, very famously, the football connection. But you then go over to the other side, and you've got a completely yellow livery. I think probably about the only one that we haven't got represented. There's one or two advertising reskins done over the years, in real life that is, including one for the Beatles experience. That would be nice to see in. But it's a brilliant pack, well worth downloading from Backdated Train Sim. I think it's just about time to give these units a run. But let's get things set up. We've only got a relatively short section to undertake, but we will get the destination marker put in place, and we are off to Hunts Cross. I'm not even sure everybody even realises that this section of route is on the Liverpool to Manchester Dovetail Games route. I wasn't aware of it until this scenario was released. It's only a short bit, of course. Liverpool South Parkway, and then the bit to Hunts Cross. Would have been great if they could have added a bit more. Fabulous reskin. Of course, if you own the Liverpool to Manchester route, you'll be fully aware of Liverpool South Parkway overhead bit, if we might call it that, or upper level. Quite old this route now, but the models looks pretty decent. I think we're supposed to stop up there actually. So I'm really crawling into the platform here. I think we'll leave it there. There's something I haven't quite done right, because I put the error, it says. I didn't type it in right, did I? 28602. 28602. Hunts Cross. Let's see. Have we done it right this time? There we are. That's better. So you can see the West Coast main line about to go over us, and that's the bit that goes off towards Runcorn and then Crewe. Of course, in reality, this would have been a train service from Southport. And we're coming into the bay platforms at Hunts Cross, where we'll terminate. Transpennine 185 there on our right. Virtually at line speed, but it feels as though we're crawling into the platform in many ways. We are at terminus platform 3 at Hunts Cross, and then we would of course jump in the cab at the other end, take it down to Southport. And if you do the full scenario, you can actually at least take it back the other way. It's very much decked out in Merseyrail yellow colours. Hello, welcome to Liverpool Central. Well, this is not Liverpool Central as we know it now. This is from a 1968 version of the route, so I know straight away that many of you will think, well, these trains have never run in this situation, but it does mean we can do a full run through to New Brighton, so I thought I'd give it a go. The route is a creation by Mike Dunning. It's the Borderlands Cheshire and Wirral Lines route. So let's get the train completely set up, and we'll put the headlights to on, and we can also set the destination as well, which is excellent. So we want 28611. There we are, New Brighton. The DRA off. And away we go. Very dark through these tunnels. I've watched the video 125 cab view of this Wirral line run, and it's a lot brighter nowadays. To begin with, we've got quite a fast little section in towards James Street, 45 miles an hour, not that we'll quite get there. We need to keep an eye because we are on a 1 in 34 descent now. We are on the descent down so that we are below the Mersey. I don't think it'd be a massive job to actually upgrade these stations to give them a feel for how they are now, but I've kind of left it as it is for now. And what I have done is added some colour light signals in for the full run from Birkenhead Park to New Brighton, added in AWS ramps as well. That was just something I've done in the last few days. Looked like a bit of a ghost-like figure. Excellent sounds as well, and really terrific work with the reskins and the pack from backdated train skim, using what was available with the Armstrong Powerhouse 313 and 314, 315 pack. And that was partly why I searched around, because it was great having the pack. This was released before Christmas, and it was kind of, well, where can you run it apart from a very short section on the Liverpool-Manchester route? And yes, they were technically used in the southeast a little bit in the early days. Delighted to find that we had an electric Merseyrail route already done. And as you'll see when we go through the various sections, there's some terrific custom models as well. Now we're on the climb now. We've gone beyond the riverbed of the Mersey, and we're now on a very sharp 1 in 31 climb to Hamilton Square. And another thing that hasn't been done on this route yet is the section to Moorfields and Liverpool Lime Street. Again, that didn't exist in 1968, which is when this route was set. Just such a self-contained little network, the Merseyrail system. Of course, it's very unusual to see third rail in operation anywhere other than outer London. Presume that you won't see a PEP in service perhaps beyond this year. I don't know whether the exact definite date's been finalised yet, because the 777s are increasingly in use. Right in saying that apart from the Bakerloo line stock, these are the oldest trains in use now on the entire British Railways network. So again, we're back up to 45, a bit more of a level playing field now in terms of the terrain. But then we've got the drop to 25 miles an hour for our first stop in the open air in Birkenhead Park. Bit of work here, just trimming back the track on the left and then the track over to the right. I think it was something like 4 platforms back in 1968. We had semaphore signalling as well. Certainly couldn't say that you could fall asleep listening to the AWS on these units. I think because I've edged a little bit further forward than the front doors haven't opened. That's a bit of a train sim thing. So Birkenhead North, our next stop, and then we've got the depot, which is still there to this day. Fastest of runs, it has to be said. Very much the speed limit. Lurching up and down. Of course, we'll be sharing this section of the line with the West Kirby trains as well. We'll be taking the turn to the right fairly soon for the branch to West Kirby. I think I'm using the wrong light arrangement as well for the 1970s version. This is actually the reskin of the one that was repainted in more recent times. I always feel as though you don't have to be 100% authentic in train sim. There's nothing wrong in being reasonably accurate, but there's also nothing wrong in having a bit of artistic license as well. There's the depot, a couple of units in there. Now kind of coming on properly to the West Kirby, not the West Kirby, the New Brighton branch, so Wallasey Village is our next stop. Apologies for that. Got a bit of 50 mile there running before Wallasey Village. those AWS ramps are a bit too close to the signals. That's entirely my fault because I'm the one that's laid them. You'll see here the effort put in with these custom models, very much done in kind of Art Deco style. And this is a route that's been electrified for many, many years. This route deserves a lot more credit than it's been given, really. It's been a little bit off the radar. Maybe one or two have downloaded it since the release of these units from backdated train sim. I encourage anybody to have a go on it. Have a run out to Chester as well for Bidston. There's some sort of new Brighton seaside run in class 20s. So New Brighton is our final stop on this journey, and I have to say this little section coming up is absolutely brilliant. Not so much worry about that side of things. You'll see in a moment. You got all the coastline represented. It's fairly normal if you're operating one of these services to find that there is a New Brighton train coming out of the station which held you up. I think that's going to happen here. You wonder how they can build tower blocks in such a situation, but that's happened in many a seaside place. There's one a bit like that at Margate. So we do have a red. So once this train has passed us, we should get clearance into the platform at New Brighton. There we are, we just saw the aspect change to green. Yeah, it's 10 mile an hour into the platforms. Carried away there. Really nice ride. It wouldn't be a massive amount of work to put in the Merseyrail colours and the signs and everything, but we'll see. Wouldn't really want to mess about with somebody else's route too much, and I certainly wouldn't be able to upload it because it's not my route. So here we are at New Brighton. Well, very much enjoyed that run. So before we finish, we've got one other representation of this unit, and this time it's on Train Sim World. And hello, welcome to Brighton. Well, this is Train Sim World 4, and for the final part of this Merseyrail journey, we're going to take a run from Brighton through to Lewes. Of course, there's no Merseyrail route in Train Sim World 4, but there is this fabulous creation from the Creators Club using the 313. So let's get the train set up. Now, of course, the cab is not completely accurate because it is a 313 cab, and as you know, with that backdated train sim, they modified it a bit to make it into a proper 507 or 508 cab, but this is just the 313, but it's still nice, and I thought it's good to give this a bit of a run. As far as I know, Merseyrail never actually were loaned out on Southern for this service. You can't really understand why they would make the journey down to here, but as ever, there's nothing wrong with a bit of artistic license. So a fairly short run to Lewes, it's only less than 20 minutes. And this is the East Coastway route, which is always well worth a run. using the sound mod as well from the Train Sim community website, which is just adds to it a little bit. I've just thought of something I haven't done. I haven't set the headlights up correctly. What do is really stunning representation of Brighton. Love how the third rail electric cuts out over the points. We can speed up slightly, but London Road is not too far away. And again, I think it's just a clear reminder that a Merseyrail route in Train Sim World 4 I think would be very popular. It's one slightly irritating fact about Train Sim World 4, the way it jumps with the graphics a little bit, and that's something you can't do a great deal about. Yeah, I think it was just the sunlight with those tail lights. It still looked as though they were on, didn't it? Come next station. Love that horn sound. I still love the flexibility of Train Sim World, the fact that you have that 24-hour timetable. You can pick any time of the day you want, and the services are all represented accurately. course this is one of the older routes now, so the game could do with a bit of an upgrade. Of course, not only can you go to Lewes, but you can go through to Seaford and Eastbourne as well. There's kind of a country feel about this run, as well as something that's pretty busy and popular as well. Falmer, the next stop. Of course, that is very much a location that football fans will be familiar with, particularly if you're a Brighton and Hove Albion supporter. The home of the Amex Stadium, and that is represented in the game as well. Times gone by, Brighton used to play at the Goldstone ground back in the 80s, and then they demolished the ground and didn't seem to have a great plan as to what to do in terms of where to play next, and they were playing various places for a while. mph speed limit at the moment, but we are coming down to 60, which is before Falmer Station. Let's spot a new timetable for this route on the Trainsim community website last night. That's something might be worth downloading just to see what the difference is. Brakes are pretty decent on these things, but you're also conscious on this route that the platforms are fairly short. One of the most irritating glitches about Train Sim World, the way the graphics engine jumps about, and there's kind of nothing you can do about it really. And there is Brighton and Hove Albion's football ground. Don't recall there being any logos on it when I played it before, but perhaps I must have downloaded a mod. Sometimes this is one location where it is accurate to have passengers still waiting on the platform because they could be waiting for a Seaford or a Eastbourne service. Eastbourne's a dead end as well, and they then reverse and then go back out to take the Hastings line. That would be a nice run to see in Train Sim World if we can get the full run to Hastings. So it's a fairly short journey this, because the next stop is indeed Lewes. Very much have a shuttle service between Brighton and Lewes. It's not in the hands of these 313s now. Taken out of service was in last year, I think. So we do have a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up to enter the platforms at Lewes. Got to keep an eye on this signal as well. Sort of creeping up on us behind this tree somewhere. And we're okay, we're signalled into the platform. usually I come bowling along here and then miss the 10 mile an hour, so trying to be a little bit more accurate than normal. Again, you'd know as a real life driver exactly when to start braking. I've certainly been a bit too cautious this time. 10. That's basically walking pace, really. As we come into the Bay platform at Lewes, where the Brighton Lewes trains terminate. Again, interesting station, Lewes, because you've got the connection with the directly to the London Victoria line as well. Joins up at Wibblesfield, I think. Well, I hope very much you've enjoyed this Merseyrail special. And thank you once again to all the people that have liked and subscribed on the channel so far. Really appreciated. Very much appreciate your support. And if you haven't done so already, if you feel inclined, then that again would be really, really appreciated. So thanks for watching, and until next time, from me, it's goodbye.